Just the tips.
All right, everybody, it's Adam and Mike coming to you. Just the Tips Podcast, episode number 56. Merry Christmas, Mike.
Merry Christmas, man. How you doing?
Doing awesome. You know, we're recording this the day after Christmas, and it'll be coming out a couple days before New Year's. And again, we just had a really, really nice Christmas day, Christmas Eve, and a relaxing day after Christmas.
Whoa, what do you got there, dude? You got a little Saturday Skins festive shirt going on?
Dude.
Look at that, dude.
Shout out to the mom, the mother-in-law, who used the code JTT15 at checkout. You got frogs on here.
Christmas tree? Oh, those are
They're
frogs.
Yep, I think she was going for the amphibian theme to keep us going. But like I said, we got some black shirt with multicolored frogs.
Nice, dude. Looks good.
Thanks, man.
How was your Christmas, man?
It was excellent. You know, it's the kids are older, so it's a little different. A little different maneuver. But Christmas Eve at the mother-in-law's, Christmas morning my father stayed over. We're down at my sister's now for Christmas Day. But I'm on a 10,000 calorie a day diet, which I think is excellent. And I think snickerdoodles and cinnamon toast shots are a really nice dessert combination.
High protein.
We've been rolling. If protein is in lasagna, then yes, high protein.
Yeah, that's not the it's not the highest ingredient in lasagna, but
I think there was sausage in there. How about you, man? How'd the girls like their Christmas?
Dude, it was a good time, man. It's constant. My kids aren't as old as yours, but my older two are getting to that age where it's bigger presents, more expensive presents, but less presents. All right, cool. No, man, they had a good time. It's always, it is what it is. You're going here to get presents. You're going there to give presents. It's vicious cycle.
Yep, I gotcha. Well, like I said, you got a chance to see your parents, so shout out to Mama Romano and your dad.
Yeah, we just got back from there, so it was good times. But same thing, man. Lots of food, lots of junk food. Back at it tomorrow, though. How about you? You going to start working out?
Yeah. So we had a minor setback in the Paddock household. Working on the simulator Saturday before Christmas, and everybody knows the table saw is the most dangerous tool in the workshop. There's no doubt about it. And again, no matter what saw, lawnmower, chainsaw, we always approach it with the proper amount of respect. But I was cutting this foam board, and when something gets caught in the table saw, a lot of times it kicks back. This time it just sucked it right in. And while it's bad, it's not that bad. But we definitely experienced a little bit of a setback. So, like I said.
Yeah. Well. So what happened? What do you got going on there?
So at 12:30 on Saturday, I got my hand caught in the table saw. But I'm telling you, it was like bing, and that was it. And I knew I'd cut myself, but I had gloves on, I had safety goggles on. So I put my finger in my mouth, and I realized this isn't one of those that you're going to put a Band-Aid on. So while I had it wrapped around my hand, I had my voice assistant on my phone call my wife, who wasn't home. She came and got me. And here's bad news: is at Christmas time, everybody is driving somewhere, and they won't get out of your way when you're having an emergency, and then. Everybody's having an emergency when you get to the hospital, and all the doctors are on vacation. So you just can't pick a worse time to get hurt.
What it is, and I think like the craziest thing is when you have an emergency, it's like, I don't know if it's you just get stuck behind that slow car, or you're just in that much of a rush that even if they're driving regular, it still bothers you.
So we're only about 20 minutes from the emergency room, and Jamie picked me up quick, probably within 5 minutes of me calling her. But about halfway up there, the shock started to wear off and the pain started to kick in bad. Oof. And I'm like, okay, but I'm only 10 minutes away from the hospital. but there's just traffic that won't, and it, I swear, Jamie's doing like 50 and a 55, and I go, this must be how Mike feels when I'm driving down to South Carolina. I'm like, we can go faster. Everybody wants to go faster. We just won't go faster,
Yeah.
But we got to the emergency room to find out the emergency room had been closed and moved to the other side of town. Not the other side of town, but far enough away where when you think you're going to the emergency room and you get there and there's like a going out of business sign and nobody's there, that's a little discouraging too.
There's like a farmer's market going on instead.
I get some nice local honey, some crochet
put some honey on it. It'll be fine.
Exactly. But we walked in the emergency room. There was a lady there like with some real medical issues. I kicked her out of the way, and got to the front of the line.
Excuse me, I got a boo-boo here.
I'm bleeding. I'm screaming. I'm bleeding. But we spent 6 hours in the emergency room, watched the PNC championship, watched the Steelers game, only to have them tell us like, there's no doctor within hours of here. You're gonna have to drive to Westchester. So we got down there at like 8. Yeah.
What were you doing that entire time? You just waiting for them to look at your hand?
Yeah, so the guy came in, he took a peek at it, and he's like, yeah, that's not good. So they took some x-rays and stuff like that, and they gave me Toradol. I don't know if you've ever had Toradol. It is lovely. It is like, if there was a little peppermint stick on it, it'd be like a nice Christmas cocktail. But it was a nice way to watch TV, I'll tell you that much. And I forgot I had a hand, let alone that it was cut. So that was good news. But no, we were just there for like...
your tetanus shot?
They asked, it was like, when's the last time you had a tetanus shot? And I'm like, I couldn't tell. I'm like, don't you have the file or something? So they gave me the tetanus shot, and the lady's like, this was probably going to hurt the most out of everything. And I'm still sore from the freaking tetanus shot. It's like getting kicked by a mule.
They haven't made that better in like 100 years. Is that the deal?
I don't even know what tetanus is. Like, what happens if you don't, like, you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't need it. Do you get like a disease or something? I thought that's what antibiotics
You get like rust in your veins? Is that what happens? I don't know. Like you turn into a Tin Man?
I remember being a kid and stepping on a rusty nail, and it was like, oh my God, they're going to cut your foot off because you're going to get a bad infection. Like that, I understand. But I'm like, what the hell is tetanus? Do you get it from metal?
I think tetanus probably counteracts the infection that you would get from like rusty metal. Like I feel like if you were to pierce your body, penetrate your body with metal, there's possibility of those shards, any piece of those metals being stuck inside your body, and your body needs to fight that off. So I think that's probably not our expertise on this golf channel. But I think we're in the right realm of that. But get a tetanus shot.
So yeah, get your tetanus shot. Okay, buy your shirt. Get your tetanus shot. But we got down to Westchester to see the hand surgeon about 8:30 at night. We watched 2 Christmas movies, and he came about 1:30 in the morning. But the one thing that Jamie was doing the text messaging and stuff, and I'm just trying to stay calm and stay positive. And when he finally gets in the room, I go, listen, I said, I got a golf trip in 54 days. I said, and he looks at me and he goes, what kind of driver you got? And I go, I'm glad you asked. I got a Titleist, a TSR3.
I got my bag in the car.
I do too. I go, but
custom fit to my biorhythms.
I was telling him about Hector Blanco and about the VS2 shaft.
Did you really?
Why wouldn't you? He asked, right? But I guess for Christmas, he got an early Christmas present. He got a G430, and so we were on the same page. And he's like, I got you, brother. I'm like, put me back together, man. I want to be like Rookie of the Year, where he gets his shoulder hurt. And then he could throw it better. So I suspect that he put something in my figure that's going to make me like a way better putter.
You know what he probably is doing? He's probably getting all the details, and then he's going to take your spot on this trip. he's like, yeah, you're not going to make it, man.
Yep.
Not going to make it.
But so we got out of there at like 2:30 in the morning. We got home at 4:30 in the morning. So that's not exactly how Christmas, the days leading up to Christmas are supposed to go. But from a structural standpoint, I was extraordinarily lucky. Not to get too graphic, and maybe we should put like a disclaimer or a warning here. but it missed the knuckle, it missed the nail bed, it missed the important tendon. I can still feel the tip of my finger. It cut the bone, but not all the way through the bone. There was just it was so close to being so bad, and like I said, so definitely setback. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. They'll let us know the recovery time. With that said, though, I've been reading everything about like how to recover faster, and they're like no alcohol, no smoking, high protein, vitamin C and D, and drink a gallon of water a day. And I'm like, it's just 75 hard. I'm like, healing the cut finger is just 75 hard. That's all, without the working out. So they didn't.
That's
say
the answer to everything, dude. 75 hard.
75 hard.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll bring you some updates, but the simulator is on pause. Working out's on pause. Like I said, it's Santa pause. So, like I said.
All right. Well, we get an update soon, right? We get an update within a week of like where you're headed next on with the hand.
Yeah, everything seems to be traveling so well. I mean, I haven't taken the bandage off, but I would think that what I'm going to hear is, hey, everything looks great. You're right on track. You want you to spend another 2 weeks on, being light. You can do some cardio, you can do some putting, change your bandages, and then come back in a couple of weeks and we'll start talking about, lifting weights and swinging a golf club. So.
All right. And it's your right ring finger, right?
Yeah. So everybody kept asking. They're like, are you left-handed? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. But they don't understand in golf, your left hand is your power hand. For golf, this is fine. This is the one you want. And it wasn't a thumb. It wasn't a forefinger.
I don't even understand why you kept it. What do you need that for?
I was thinking Ronnie Lott. He cut it off. I should have cut it off. I'd have been right back out there.
Into the game that day, that same game.
I'm not as tough
You're
as Ronnie
sitting here
Lott.
trying to be like, oh, simulator's on hold. Like, what the heck, dude?
What would Ronnie Lott do? He'd cut his finger off. He'd be in there swinging golf clubs. That's it.
You need that sticker on your car.
What would Ronnie Lott do?
So I actually knew a guy who was on the 49ers. He made like something like the practice squad or maybe like second team defense or something like that. And he said Ronnie Lott is the nicest guy in the world. He said he's so cool. Yeah, very cool. He's like buy the whole defense dinner if they win a game and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. So all right, dude. So let's get up to date with everything that we're posting up until Sunday. We've been doing the Just the Tips countdown of 2024, our favorite
time
picks of the year. You know what I mean? So what are we up to? Today's day 9 that we're posting.
It's going to be.
6.
It should be day 7 because we started on Sunday, and this is Sunday, so this would be day 7.
Okay.
So we got.
So we're going backwards.
3, 2, and 1.
Yep.
Because it should end on Tuesday. So at this point, everybody should have seen 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4 should have came out today.
Yep. So, that everything that we talked about last week of our favorite posts of the year and the reasons why. So go back and check out last episode if you want to hear our reasons why. But dude, we're actually getting a lot like more views on some of these videos again and comments and everything like that. So it's kind of cool. It kind of re-establishes why they are our favorites of the year.
So it was funny because the first one, your number 10 was the Hawk Tua girl. And, this time of year, just, golf kind of falls out a little bit in viewership. I just think internet wide. It's not just the tips thing. So it was our best video ever. And it's our best video of the month of December on republishing it. So, that girl still got some legs. Background. Yeah. She's got some staying power.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think she's in trouble right now. So
really?
I think she tried to come out with her own crypto coin, and it was like scammy. I think it was like something was scammy and fake about it, and she just like kept.
I thought you were gonna say like she came out with like a new blender, like a ninja chopper or something. She went from Hawk 2 and spit on that thing to I'm doing crypto. I'm doing my own currency.
Yeah, she's got her own podcast and things like that. But I guess she did a little cryptocurrency thing, and it was scammy or something. And she ended up taking the money, and then the coin tanked, and she's in deep right now. So we do not promote her by any means.
No, she is not part of the Just the Tips team, family, and/or community. She's an ancillary part of the internet that we leverage.
She's just a character in the background of one of our videos. That's it.
Yeah, yep. She's like that chubby kid with the yarmulke that they always put on everything. You know, he's always walking in. He's got the real chubby face, and he was always he could be on here too. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, these are pretty funny. They're pretty good. But dude, it's just getting me more excited for 2025, dude.
Yeah.
That's really, you know what I mean? Coming out with, picking our top 10 from where we were, 360 days ago till now, and picking our favorites is just getting me super excited for what a year from now is going to be like. So it's pretty cool.
And it's funny because I went through all the videos, but then I picked 10, you picked 10. Watching your top 10 after you explained it in the last video, like this is why out of 1,000 videos plus, these are the top 10 that I picked, and it's been a pleasure, dude. It's been just a lot of fun watching these videos again and seeing people reconnect to them. We either maybe didn't see them the first time or are revisiting them. So,
I will say that is definitely something that we don't do probably enough of because throughout this year we've gained multiple thousands of followers.
Tens of thousands, yeah.
And nobody really goes back and looks at past stuff when you start following a page. Do you do that?
I'll go back like 20 posts is probably and if it's a really good channel, like maybe 50. That's if I'm really engaged.
I don't think people do that.
No?
I don't think people really, really, truly do that. I think maybe, like you said, if it's a cool page and just kind of want to see what they're all about, you might stumble upon their page and like scroll back a few or maybe a dozen or so. But like we have some pretty cool posts from the beginning of this year that if somebody started following us come August because they saw a Todd Hill Farm video or something like that, they are a follower from there going forward. But they don't, you know what I mean? They don't see any of this stuff. And we never repost anything other than this little countdown right now.
Should we? Should we be doing like the top 5 posts of the month?
Do it. I've seen other channels. No, they'll just repost it. They'll just straight up repost the post, and we definitely don't do that. I actually don't even
every once in a while
any.
On Reels. Every once in a while, we'll post something.
I'll do
maybe
stories.
Pops up in stories rather.
Stories.
Yeah,
like an old story. Like I love the one, and it didn't make the countdown only because she would have got really mad at me. Where I'm at the back of my truck, and everyone thinks it's her yelling at me. It's not. Yeah. It's just an audio. But I'll pop it up in the stories every once in a while just to get her. She's like, "Why do you keep resharing that?" So
that's funny, dude.
That one's got a ton of views also. But we don't do a lot of it, and I'm actually proud that we don't do that to fill up spots. We're always coming up with new stuff, so it's kind of cool. But it does get me excited.
That we produce more new and original content than any other golf influencer out there. I don't know anybody else who posts this amount of content that's new, brand new, original content. And maybe that's just because of where we are right now, that we're supposed to be producing a lot and kind of learning our way. St. Andre's is doing one a month, and Good Good's doing a handful a week. We're doing.
Did you see St. Andre's latest one?
What's funny is I always seem to stumble on one that I never saw, and I can't tell if it's brand new or if it's one I just didn't see before. So, which one? I think this is
pretty new. He says something about, he's like, bad news, guys. And then he goes in, he's like, I just got a raise at work. And he goes into all these like positive things that he said. And he's standing over like a 3-foot putt. Yeah. And she's like, what's the bad news? That's good. And he goes, oh, this is good, and then picks it up and walks away. And the other guy's like, you don't say that's good.
I did see that one, and that was funny, man.
It was pretty good.
Yep, yeah. Very smart. Yeah, those guys
Um,
are excellent. They really do a good
Oh,
job.
they are such a good, and they're super funny too. And
Yeah.
the girl like the girl and the creepy guy were like, I think, actor friends of his.
Yeah.
And they didn't know golf. They didn't know. They were just actors. So in the beginning, you could see that they were like, it was a lot of effort for them to be doing, or I mean, at least to me, it was a lot of effort for them to be into this golf world. And now they've really come along, and they're just like natural to it now. And so it's so cool.
Not
to
for
see.
nothing, her swing is really good, by the way. Because I know I've heard you say that before, that she's an actress. They weren't into golf. She got a very good swing. I don't know if she. I mean,
I
they're
think they've
around
come a
enough
long
golf
way.
folks. Yeah. Yep.
I think in
Did
the
you see
beginning, if you go ahead.
No, did you see the one where they were in Scotland? Like they must have got a good jag over there, and they have this very funny thing where they're singing this Irish song, and it's about wearing nothing under your kilt and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, here these guys are, they're just these actors, and their buddies like, I want to make golf videos. Can you help me? And next thing, they're playing golf in Scotland, and they're
signed
at
to
the old
Bridgestone.
course.
They're signed to Bridgestone and did videos with Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
You know the one where he like taps the ball off the tee and like
what?
it's got the three of them standing in the back all like this.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's like the like the voiceover of like their thoughts in their mind. He's like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it." And then Tiger Woods bends down and picks his mouth. He goes, "That's one, right, guys?" And they're like, "Oh, that's funny." It's pretty good. But dude, they're meeting Tiger Woods, doing videos with Tiger, and who else?
So they're to the point where they only have to produce a couple of pieces a month, and they're it's like destination viewing. Like if you said, "Oh, did you see the new one?" and I hadn't seen it, I'd look right after this. I'd look it up, right?
So, it's like, watching a show.
But when you talk about the stuff that we want to do, there's a lot in 2025 coming up. I mean, what I'm most excited about really is just sitting down and getting our schedule together, because one of the things we did, I mean, we played a lot of new courses this year, but we could have partnered with and played a lot more at better times. Upstate in the fall, you kept saying we missed the color change window for great content. We won't let that happen this year.
Definitely not happening. I got a calendar on order on its way from Amazon right now. But with that being said,
cats with cowboy hats.
No, it's like a bikini.
No, the
bathing
12
suit
month,
one,
the
like,
12-month calendar. When you flip it up, it's a cat with a cowboy hat.
No, I know what you're saying. I get the bikini one from like that I had like when I was a teenager. I still get that.
Can you remember going to like mechanic shops and there being like the bikini girl, like like the Snap-on girl thing? Could you imagine that today if you walked into like your local oil change place and there's like a bikini girl thing on the wall? People lose their
not getting away with that now. Yeah,
not today.
But I was just saying, dude, you just open up Instagram and you see worse things anyway. So
100%. So,
but with that being said, 2025, we got some new stuff rolling out on day one, dude. Day one, which is what, Wednesday?
Yeah. So
Wednesday.
Happy New Year's, everybody, and happy 2025. Good to know you're alive, and we're gonna be all over the place. But it starts up with the Strandsgiving trip that we're gonna start releasing all January.
Yeah, we're rolling out the start of the Strandsgiving stuff. I'm super pumped about. It is gonna take a while to roll out that entire trip because it was 7 days, 7 courses, 3 states, 4 cities. Crazy. 900 miles, I think. 900 down and 1,800 total.
6 different hotels, including one Best Western with the highest beds in the world.
And Puddles is Casa.
Shout out to Puddles the Caddy.
Yeah, and so we're gonna be rolling out Royal New Kent stuff. I got some stuff put together that I'm super excited about.
So can we talk about Royal New Kent? Are we up to the point where we can talk about the course and talk about the stuff that's going to be coming out, or we still got to keep that a secret?
No, let's roll with it.
Because I'm telling you,
it's not a secret.
I know you always like everything to match up, that we're talking about the things when the stuff's coming out. And I get excited because the day we're there, that's all I want to talk about.
I know, it's hard. It's hard.
So I'm laid up a little bit, so I'm getting a chance to dive down a little deeper than I normally would, especially around the holiday times, into the content that we created. But also, scheduled, but ended up driving all the way through the night, so like 8 hours straight to the Cracker Barrel, and then on to the course. And I was a little fuzzy that day, to be honest with you. I wasn't like 100% in the moment. We hadn't played golf in a while. And then to revisit how great this course was, that's one of the things that's special is we get a chance to go back and see these holes. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, that was great. Plus, we played so much freaking golf that week, it started to get a little blurry, the different
Yeah.
courses and stuff. But Royal New Kent was a gem. It was something very, very special.
It sure was. And, I remember hopping in the car and telling you how excited I was to play this course because I think not being on your radar and not really on my radar until I started diving into more strand stuff, I was like, yo, this is going to be the sleeper course that's going to like really please us in the end. So like you just said, you were a little fuzzy, and I think I was too, just from lack of sleep, driving through the night, and things like that. I also think for me, a link style course that is dormant because it's it was December, it was the last day of November, I think it was. Everything was brown. Link style courses to me tend to have very similar layouts hole to hole. Now, Strands didn't really do that at Royal New Kent, but there were a few holes that I'm like, was that 4 or was that 14? I can't, in my mind, like trying to think back. But then when I go back to the videos, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that hole. Oh yeah, I remember when I was in that bunker, like things like that. So, like you were saying, it's kind of cool to kind of have this footage to go back on and just have those like memories right there.
And not for nothing, but again, we did play it in a dormant state. So the course is as monochromatic as you could get. It's just shades of, browns and grays and dark greens. So there's not a lot of contrast, Plus it's cloudy and gray and overcast a little bit. So until I got into the videos and you really understand like how pretty this course is, even in that state. And then to go, man, when you come out in the summertime, this place must be sexy as hell.
Dude. I mean, we talked about this, dude. We're going down come March. We're going down for a little cannonball run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because catch that course on a green day with, I don't know, maybe hard fairways or something like a link style that like Strance wants it, dude. I would love to play that course again. Plus, I got to play number 2 correctly this time.
So here was the thing, though, is we were fortunate enough to talk to both Tim MacArthur, the general manager and pro, and Willie Downs, the majority owner of Royal New Kent. And one of the things they kept coming back to time and time and time again is that this was one of the more challenging layouts that Strance had ever put together. And he's not a cupcake architect, that's for sure. And he's got his fair share of challenging holes on every course. But I was very daunted by the length and complexity of Royal New Kent. And even Willie Downs said that. He goes, people come here to play this because it's not easy. He's like, what do you say? It's like wanting to go on the really tall roller coaster, right? Because it's big and it's scary. He says that's what Royal New Kent is.
So, and looking back at the footage, it's definitely exactly how Willie described it. But I wouldn't say Strance other courses are easy by any means. They're definitely tricky. But if you play them smart and don't like go for the forbidden fruit, you can score well, especially at courses like Caledonia and Tobacco Road and things like that, where you just don't take that risk, and you still get away with that par. Whereas like if you take the risk, now you got a nice look at an easy birdie, maybe a tap-in par. Royal New Kent, you were not getting that. I mean, you do not. I mean, there was one time on the second hole that I tried to take the forbidden fruit, and then after that, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Just gonna be safe. Yeah. But the thing
if
is, it's a monumentally long course too. Like we always look at what's on the back, and it's like 7,400 yards. But the next tees up we're what, 71 or 7,200?
Yeah.
We're outside of 7,000 feet or 7,000 yards. It's a monster.
Yeah, I would probably put it to the likes of like something like a True Blue, where you're having this like massive amount of like land that the course is on. And I'm not talking like acreage of the whole thing, but like this hole is big, wide, enormous. It's tough, and there's some sort of stuff in the way or some sort of angles, but it's just land, and it's
just massive.
That's what I think about True Blue as well. Whereas like Caledonia and like Tobacco Road and Tahoe Farm are these like kind of like etched into the mountainside or the trees or the marsh where you can cheat a little bit and get around a corner a little bit and try to help yourself out a little bit more.
Yeah.
True Blue, True Blue and Royal New King, you're not doing that.
No, and I was blown away too. Again, we kind of roll out of the car. I mean, the clubhouse was incredible. Now, one of the things about Royal New Kent is that just like Tobacco Road, or just like Todd Hill Farms, is they closed it down. I mean, it was closed. They said the fairways were 3 feet high, and so to get it back in this pristine condition is again, not every course bounces back like that. So again, okay, it's not on our radar, but to get out there, the clubhouse was amazing, the artwork was amazing, but like all good Strands courses, and they're all good, the first hole was very dramatic. It sets up. It reminds me
hole on the
of
course.
Yeah, well, you got after it. You got after it early. But, you sit there, and it reminded me a lot of number one at Mansion Ridge, our Nicholas course. It's not as dramatic as Tobacco Road, but it's very similar. You kind of got to, hit it down the chute and stuff like that.
I bet you that hole with green fairways and the fescue kind of like mature or whatever we want to call it, like bloomed.
Grown up.
I think it would be a pretty epic opening hole. Not that it wasn't already, but like you're saying, like I would put that up there with Tobacco Road.
But what got me is okay, you hit this tee shot, which visually is very, very pretty. It's an intimidating first shot, like you said, like a Tobacco Road, or not as dramatic as Todd Hill Farms, where you yeah. But the second shot, once you get down there, you're like, oh, I'm off. I'm on the course. I can breathe now. You take a look at this shot up this hill. You're like, come on. Like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous, to go shooting up that hill, So, and then
very cool opening hole.
We could say, man, 8 hours in the car, a Cracker Barrel breakfast. You stripe drone footage. It's 45 degrees. You stripe it down the middle, knock it to 20 feet, and make the putt. So Strands started off with a birdie for you. You were 1 under after 1.
Yeah, man, chasing that course record. 1 under to 1 at Royal New Kent, a course I'd never seen before. Like you said, just out of the car and stuff like that. So, no, it was a very, very cool day, man. I mean, so much footage that we got from there that's going to be coming out starting January 1st. And you guys will see. And we said this in a podcast, I think when we were outside Tobacco Road a few episodes ago, that watch the footage for the course, not the golf. We had a good day out there, but again, we had just gotten out of the car. We drove through the night. It was cold. We had the heater in the cart. You'll see in some of the videos, it was a little chilly, and we weren't completely ready for that kind of weather. No. But listen, it was a great course. I can't wait to play it again, man.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and that's what the owner said, Willie Downs. He goes, all Strands courses, you need to play 3, 4, 5 times before you really understand them. And I think that's very true of Royal New Kent. I think a course that, the first time you see it, you try and get it, you try and be straightforward with it. But there's opportunities out there to have a lot of fun. Like on number 2.
That's definitely me. Yeah. That's definitely me when I'm like, all right, like this is where I can see that there's fairways, so I'm just going to try to hit it there. And then you get up there, you're like, oh, there's so much more fairway over here. I could have got away with a little bit more over here.
And what was that little par 4 on the back where we're like, it's like 289, but it goes to like a field goal. It's like 14 or 15, something like that. It's right once you cross the road.
Yeah, and 14 where we probably just should have hit like a 5-iron.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that next time. I'd hit something reasonable.
It's a cool hole, though.
Or try and hit it harder. One or the other. I definitely wouldn't have had that protective swing. All
right, you do that next time. I'm going to hit the 5-iron.
But
let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then 14. 15 was a par 3, 16, yeah.
It's amazing. So, the par 3 with a 100-yard green where it could play 120 yards, it could play 200 yards. It was ridiculous.
That was 12. That was 12. But, that thing was insane.
The 2 finishing holes got me hard, and I don't know if I was just, kind of succumbing to being tired or, it was chilly and the ball wasn't flying. But, 17 is this really awesome par 5 that's reminiscent of a couple of other Strantz par 5s, but it's bigger, it's a little meaner. It reminds me of 13 at Bulls Bay a lot. Where it kind of comes around, but the green's not in front of you. The green's kind of off to the side over this, over
but
this
it's
creek.
not dog-legged. It's not dog-legged off to the side. It's like situated over to the side.
Yeah, and I've never seen that before. Where the green is. It's like they stuck it on the side. It's like an ear on the side of your head. They stuck it there.
It's definitely and 13 is the same way. Like at Bulls Bay. Yeah.
So, but then 18, 18 was in my head from the second I stepped on the property.
I was just going to say the same thing, dude. You were staring at 18 off the back of the clubhouse, crying already.
It was 9 a.m. by the time we got to 18. It was almost dark out, and I've been worried about that hole for 10 hours. But
let me just show you something real quick. This thing. This is what you did on 18.
That's it.
You talked yourself into 18 so bad.
From
the very beginning.
You got to carry a good amount of water from the tees we were playing. It probably wasn't 200, but it was a lot. It's probably 180, 190 yards.
Yeah, we had some wind in the face, but you hit a great drive.
Yeah, but from the clubhouse, when you look down, it doesn't look like there's that much room to land the ball before you have to hit it over another pond, right? So I hit a good drive, but I still had like 180, 170 yards into the wind.
No, you had 165. I'm going to look it up. No.
All right.
I think you had like around 165, but we had some wind in the face, plus it was all carry. So you were like, I'm hitting hybrid, right? You hit
all
hybrid?
Carry, but this green is like, it's like 10 yards deep, and then it's nothing but heather, behind it. So you're like, there's nowhere to land the ball. I mean, with a long iron, there is nowhere to land the ball on this hole. Because if you're 1 foot short, you're in the water. But if you're 5 yards long, you're in the heather. And the green's narrow. It's really, really wide, right? But it's narrow.
You got to hit a fade in there, dude. That's why I hit a fade. It's for that hole.
So, like I said, I'm like. So you were saying like, oh, what's your favorite hole? Favorite hole? It's a lot like 18 at Caledonia. No, it's not. 18 at Caledonia, you're hitting short irons in, to a funky green. Yeah. This, you're bringing some real heat to. I'll tell you what. I hope I never play a championship round there where it comes down to having to win 18 or have 18 decide it, because that hole is a miserable monster.
Just hit your drive further.
All that, but then you start, and again, now that you know, you can't drive it too far. I think I would have had to drive a little bit harder. If you're up around the 150 marker, I think the hole's a little bit easier. But what a nightmare! It's just that hole had my number. I got.
You talked yourself into that from the very beginning.
I did too. Yeah.
And I think also if you go a little left there, you have a little bit of a better angle, depending on obviously where that pin is and stuff like that.
I hadn't thought about that.
A little bit more green to. You got a little more green to work with on a little bit of an angle. So,
because like most Strantz courses, you got a wide driving area, But you're right. If you hooked it a little left and let it roll out and got a little bit better at, you're right. That's smart.
Yeah.
Put that in the
Because like
notes.
you said, I mean, that green is, and a lot of his greens are very skinny, but wide depending on which way you're looking at. It's wide this way, but it's skinny this way. And he does that with like a lot of his par threes where he'll take that green and he'll just angle it like this, but it's very skinny but long,
Mm-hmm.
So that's Strance, man. You gotta love it.
I do too.
But no, but we had a really great time. And then what did we do? We hopped in the car, drove the rest of Virginia and into North Carolina. We stopped and got some awesome barbecue at some place.
Baby,
But
it was awesome.
But we had a great time, sitting down with Tim and Willie and, hearing some awesome Strance stories and Mike Jones stories. If you guys don't know who Mike Jones is, Mike Jones he still works for the Maverick Company, which is Mike Strance's design company that he started with these guys. And Mike Jones was Mike Strance's right-hand man when it came to doing all of the things. And Willie had some really, really cool stories.
So do you hear what they call him? That he's the head shaper? And like that's the first time I heard that term. But what they were saying is that Strance would come up with this idea and he'd put it on paper and he'd send these guys out on the course with like an excavator and they're like, go make it. They were shaping the course. Yeah. So
there's a couple cool stories that Willie had that were really cool, and we ended up interviewing them, which will be also coming out as a long form piece of content as well. So check that out because I think the cool thing is getting these what is that? I guess 2 people removed stories or one person removed story from Mike Strance. We're telling it to our viewers, but they told it to us that was directly from Mike Strance of people who were right there, or directly from Mike Jones who was right there. So
you guys are like shaking the hand of the guy who shook the hand of the guy who shook the hand of Mike Strance.
Yeah, it's not quite 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's more like 3, right?
Yeah, it is. But but I'll tell you, for people that that fell in love with Mike Strance, to hear these stories and to know that the owners of the courses and the pros and the people that work there have this reverence for him, and not like he's the second coming or anything like that, but there's a high level of respect, and because there's such a limited amount of courses to be associated with one, people have it's like a big honor. So anything that they can do to, kind of expand the story without embellishing, they do. It's a great community.
And, the fact that there is only 7 Strance courses on the East Coast, I feel like it is like this tight-knit community. I mean, maybe not, I don't know. I can't speak for them, but I think like it seems like they all kind of understand what they have. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is a Strance course. This is the only Lynx Strance course. This is, and I think they all really, truly appreciate, what they have in their backyard. It's pretty cool.
Yep. So Royal New Kent, Golf Ireland in Virginia is their tagline. And I've never been to Ireland, but I have been to Virginia. And I'll tell you, it's a very cool, very tough course. And it doesn't look like anything else. They were even saying about Mike Strance, like, this is his for the Maverick designer. This is his his alternate style. And maybe if Mike lived a long time, maybe we just saw a lot more Mike Strance Link style courses because he was really tuned in with Ireland and had studied over there and things like that.
Yeah,
but
he went over
it's
there.
The only one.
He went over there for 9 months, right?
Yep. Just to study and to take it all in. And like I said, I was blown away. Like I said, now I got to get to Ireland so I know what I'm comparing it to.
Yeah, so Ballybunion and Royal County Downs were 2 of the courses that he studied and 2 of his favorite courses over there that he wanted to kind of design off of. He designed Royal New Kent off of those 2 courses, and same with the clubhouse. And that's another thing is like it seems to me, and I don't really know this to be true, but I didn't know like course designers are also having a say in the clubhouse. I didn't know of this before, and I don't think the other ones do, but it seems like Mike Strantz like included that in his design. Like, hey, if you want me to design your course, I'm also designing where the clubhouse goes and where it's going to be and all these things, because he put Royal New Kent up on this hill. He put their clubhouse up on the hill and wanted it in these certain spots to be part of the overall design of the course.
Mm-hmm. It's windy up there on top of the hill too, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
The roof, it's red. Drone, it's red.
The drone didn't like that wind too much, and we crashed the drone into the roof of the clubhouse.
We crashed the drone into the roof of the clubhouse.
Yeah, we're a team here, dude. We're a team. Yeah, no, I crashed the drone. I was flying. No. I wanted to get some good footage of this clubhouse.
It's amazing footage.
It is beautiful.
It's really
good. And Adam's inside taking footage of the amazing artwork that Heidi donated back to the clubhouse. That she Willie said that she handpicked some stuff out of the attic that she felt Mike would have wanted at Royal New Kent. And there's some amazing pieces of artwork. You're in there filming that. I crashed the drone into the roof, and you come running out. And I'm like, it's okay. And all of a sudden I pick up the drone, it's freaking out, and now it starts smoking and it's beeping. So yeah, we needed to get a new drone.
We crashed the drone. Yeah, we crashed the drone. I was inside and I heard it hit, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, something hit out here hard. And the thing is like ready to catch on fire. I'm like, is that a thing? I'm like, but I think that's why they won't let you take those batteries like on a plane, because I didn't realize those things every once in a while just ignite. So
they don't let you check them in a bag. They actually make you carry them with you, because they want you to know, hey, this thing's smoking right now. They don't want to find out later that it's smoking in your bag down below. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well,
like I said, it's but long story short is that I'm eager to get back there again, and I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if there's if it's 35 and frosty or 95 or the most perfect day. It's a course that I just want to see again. I think I got a good chance of shooting in the a good round out there now that I know what I'm looking at.
Pick a number.
Pick a number.
What are you gonna shoot?
So. Okay, so call it 77. Look at the Irish double sevens. But What I was getting at was, it depends on where they put the pins. That pin on number 4, I went back and watched that video. I can't remember the last time I 4-putted. And I'm like, I was tired. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched it, and I'm like, but we're there in December, and the ball rolls up the hill and then rolls 8 feet back. And Dude, I'm like, no. I'm like, that's a terrible pin.
If you watch
that's a really hard pin.
Watch the video, dude. I putt the putt, and I put a little extra on it to get it up the hill, and it was maybe 8 inches behind the flag. I turned around and picked my clubs up because I was going to go pick the ball up. It was a gimme. I turn around, and you just start laughing, and it was 8 feet from the hole.
I was blown away. And then I go, but I don't know what happened. Like put backspin on it or something, because it doesn't look that dramatic. And I knock it up there. And I lip it out, and it comes right back to my feet. I'm like,
and you went to go tap it in. I was like, no, because we didn't get my second shot on camera on that hole for some reason, but I put one into the heather, so I had to drop. Mm-hmm. So I'm 2 in, 3 out, on and 4. Then I rolled that putt up that I thought was going to be a tap in for a 6, and it rolled to 8 feet. So now you are on and 2. You had that. You had a 40-foot putt that you hit 20 feet. Yeah. So then you had another 20-footer that you missed, and then it started rolling back. And I was like, no. Now this is going to be 8 feet, and you're going to give me the line. And then you missed that one. So we ended up tying that hole, which was
I was on in regulation fairway green 4-putt for a double. That doesn't happen all the time. Then the wheels started coming off. Hey, and you did have a really good birdie look on the hardest hole on the course on number 6, which again, going back and listening to Willie describe it, I still don't know why that's the hardest hole on the course. I can think of 5 others that I would like that I would find to be more
I think
difficult.
the pin was in an easy spot on the green to where
Is that what it was?
we didn't. We both had decent shots into the green to where we didn't have to mess with any of the hard parts of the green.
Yeah.
But I think the greens. I mean, look at number 10's green. I mean, once we put that content out, 10 was ridiculous, dude.
I forgot about number 10.
I got a side view shot in the first long form piece coming out of Royal New Kent that shows you the undulation of that green. It was silly.
And it's funny because it's not like 6 degrees undulation where it's just a wall. Like I said, it's what they used to make us run up and down for football practice to get in shape.
Yeah, you definitely get out of breath just walking up to the pin.
Walking up the green. Unbelievable, dude. Well, listen,
very cool place. We have to get back there, in a couple months. Like you said, you don't care what it is. I care. I wanna see what we can do on that course on a decent day with
I'd be afraid if they ramp those greens up because we're there in December 4-putting. And, they go out there, they start having those things run at 12s, man. That could be a really, really big number. What would it remind me of is like Shaker Ridge. The difference between Shaker Ridge running at its normal, 10, 11, 12, and the day we were out there this year when it was running like at an 8, it made it so much easier. They actually adjusted the handicap. That was December. If they wanted to, they could make that place awful miserable, So
no, I mean, and that's the thing. Actually, in the interview with Willie, people were like, "Hey, did you guys want to soften this course up and make it?" And they were like, "No." They were like, "No."
Yeah.
we don't do that around here.
You could play a championship tournament out there. You could play a PGA tournament or
that would be awesome to see.
Yeah, because you get from those back tees and there's space back there. So, like I said, just because you're a long hitter doesn't mean that you can tackle that course. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean there's some short holes. Like number 11 wasn't that bad, and like we were saying, number 14. And the par threes. If you stretch them out a little bit, yeah, they're reasonable. You're not going to get 230-yard par threes, but you can stretch some of them out and put the back pins, and you can get 180, 190 out of them with some undulation in the greens and some bunkers protecting those flags.
Not for nothing, but if they choose to on and this goes for almost any Strands course, just think about Strantz's backyard at Tot Hill Farms. If they wanted to put that pin all the way in the back,
dude, they Golf Crusade, the boys that we met down in Charleston, they just posted a flyover of Strantz's backyard at Tot Hill Farm, and the pin is on this left shelf. And I remember being on that hole, and the green was like this weird like undulation thing, but it had this weird left shelf that was like another shelf up. And it was just like a little tab. Like it was crazy, and it was just
it's like a 10-foot circle. Come on,
it's crazy.
Describing it as a shelf is the best way to put it, because that you wouldn't put a pin there. You'd put like knickknacks there. You'd put like something your mom gave you. Maybe like like your watch box. Your cologne. It is not big enough to put a pin there and to hit the ball at. It was a shelf. But if you got it all the way up and back and around, I bet that hole stretches out to 200 plus. And a nightmare. Think about 14 at Tobacco Road. We played that pin in the front both days from a mid tee box. But if you put that on the back and you played those back tees, I bet that's 200 downhill over the water. That thing could be
with a bunker protecting the whole left side. Listen, Strands. That's why I love Strands designs. They're so well thought out for every single scenario. If you got a back pin, you got a back bunker. You got a front pin, you got water. You know what I mean? Like something like that. And we were talking about that at Tobacco Road, and we'll get into that in another podcast. But like from every tee box, you have an equal but possibly different form variation of difficultiness or intimidation.
I've just grown up on all these local courses where, the variations on par threes are probably 10 to 15 yards on the tee box and 10 to 15 yards on the green. So if it's 150, so if it's 150 yards, like if they wanted to stretch it out, it'd be like 180. If they wanted to make it close, it'd be like 135. But you're absolutely right. You're just back farther or up closer.
Yeah.
With these, a bunch of his par threes set up like amphitheaters, a bunch of them,
Yeah.
where you could be 45 degrees different from left to right, and with the way the green's set up, and from front to back, and put the tee in a different. I bet on number 3 at Royal New Kent, I bet there's 200 different ways to play that hole, tee box and pin combinations for a mid-level pin.
So you're big on LinkedIn. Reach out to the superintendent at Royal New Kent, see what he says. Like, how many different variations of hole of like, I don't even know, like tournament holes can you play on this hole?
Yeah. Could you think all the way around that amphitheater, and if it's, say the tee box is 10 yards wide, there's probably 30 places to put it, and there's probably 20 or pin locations that are good locations.
Differences,
And again, you think about when we played it, it was middle front, right? But if you took that tee box and cranked it all the way dramatically to the left, and put that pin right front, right front.
Yeah, right front. You got nothing behind it, falling off.
Nothing.
And there's a bunker back there.
You have the woods. Yep.
And then you also have, or you can go back left, and there's like a grass swallow in the front. You know, so if you don't carry it, you're falling down in there. It's like, dude, all of those things are Mike's way of designing just perfect holes, dude. Yeah. They're just perfect.
Yep. I think it's amazing.
That's what I love about it. That's what I love about it.
So go play Royal New Kent. It's the great thing too is like I said, the course is in amazing shape. It's not an expensive course. You don't need a mortgage payment. It's in Virginia, so it's not that far away from New York. It's not all the way down, what did
it take us? 7.5 hours? 6.5 hours?
Yeah, exactly. So, again, you're probably not going to drive down and play that same day, but you could drive down. You could leave on a Friday night. You're playing Saturday morning, and you can play Sunday and you're driving back. You could play it twice in a weekend.
That's the plan.
No
We're going to drive down Thursday night and then play Friday, and then we're going to play Stonehouse, which we'll get to later in our podcast on the Strange Given trip. We're going to play Stonehouse, and then whatever one we're going to play twice. We're going to play one of them twice. We're going to play 3 rounds.
Mike, you know what I just thought about? Is that by the time we get all the way to the end of if we get all the way to, it is a great idea. By the time we get all the way to the end of the Strandsgiving trip, we'll actually be able to play Stonehouse and then just put it in the end, just like we were there.
I like it. I like it. Well, that's giving it away that we didn't end up getting to play Stonehouse, but we'll talk about that more as these podcasts go further. But
all right.
Listen, Royal New Kent guys, check it out.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to play it again. I love going through this footage. So again, it does take us a while to go through all the content and put stuff together, and I personally want to deliver it to everyone to be the best experience so you can feel like you were there and you feel like you know what the holes are doing. I know personally on number 2, I watched 25 videos on how to play number 2 at Royal New Kent, and I didn't do it. So I'm going to show you how not to play number 2. Adam will show you how to play it. And, I'll
teach you how not to play number 5, that's for sure. Jeez.
That's a tough hole. I need to get a flyover of that hole. I don't have it in the content and the drone footage.
You just need to hit 3 good shots. That's all to a gigantic
3 good,
green,
long, straight shots.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Without being able to see where they're going. You just hope that they're headed in the right direction.
Yep, exactly. Listen, I could sit here and continue to talk about Royal New Kent the rest of the day. We're coming up on an hour on the podcast. Again, shout out to our sponsors. Get your Saturday skins, buy your shirt, see how many different designs you can get. And by the way, you sent it to me the other day. Saturday skins coming out with long sleeve.
Yeah,
outerwear.
So we're doing some work with them. They heard us, and we're putting out some content with those guys. So make sure to check that out. Sundog, buy your sunglasses.
15% off with the code JTT15 at checkout.
And
don't
buy
forget,
your cigars.
Dude, Based Based is where it's at, you know. So
Yeah,
get your
dude.
Based cigars. Yep.
Yep. New stuff coming out soon. He's got some specials out on his website right now, so check those out.
Yep. And I've been texting back and forth with Ken from Custom Wedgwoods, and he's got a new series for private lesson professionals or teaching pros. He's modifying his backyard kit so that they can use the yardages for drills. So you can get custom
nice.
yardages and custom stuff. So, you know, your teaching pro shows up and he says, don't worry about all that other stuff over there. We're hitting to our custom Wedgwood
Nice.
yardages. Yep.
Good.
I think that's cool.
Awesome. Love Ken's stuff. Check his stuff out too. Custom Wedgwoods. All right, dude.
Check him out. All right, man. Listen, I got when this comes out, I'll have 2 days to get the clearance, and then I'll be right back at the gym, man, knocking it out. We'll get this thing back underway.
brother.
All right?
Sounds
man.
good.
Listen, I'm Adam.
I'm Mike. Just the tips.
Don't cut off the tips.
Just the tips.